Hello there, unicorn light loves. I hope everybody is doing well out there and feeling into who they are. I sincerely hope everybody had a wonderful week. For those of you who are brand new, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. And for those of you who have just joined us or have been here for a while, welcome. It's such an honor to be able to read for you today. So we do have Lily in the corner. We've got her butt and I didn't move her on. So Lily the unicorn cat is making a special appearance. Hopefully she will not light her butt on fire with our orange candle here, our orange healing candle that we have for Sunday. Orange being a wonderful magical color to put out there. So again, as always, we set up these wonderful readings as a way for you to be able to heal or just shed whatever it is that you want to shed. So this orange candle is always dressed with beautiful healing oil. So you can go ahead and release whatever it is that you want, or you can pull in abundance, pull in healing, whatever it is that you want. And we can absolutely use this session for that. Today, what I thought we would do is, before we get into that, I just want to say that for everybody who is doing the Beyond Fear course for benevolent, sensitive beings, if you've had any trouble with anxiety, if you've been, depressed, I know this is a time right now, there's so much going on. So whether this is happening now or it's been something that's been constant in your life, there is a 3-day course, which is absolutely free. It gives you some content, some context, obviously some content. No, we don't give you anything. Some context to why you're feeling this way, ways to get you back your power, practical ways that you can work through whatever you need to work through to become, your whole sovereign being. It's about getting you back to who you are. And it's always about getting you back to who you are, because we always are who we are. It's just a matter of shedding so we can see it. So that is completely free. It's only 3 days. It's on the link below, the unicornschooloflight.com. And for those of you who are joining us for our 21-day inner child magical workshop, bringing all the abundance and, again, badass, getting down, grounding into your power and pulling back your energy and your power back to you. We have the 21-day working with the unicorns, unicorn magic and abundance. That's happening down below for a wonderful price of $33. So all those links are down below. And for those of you who are already taking the course, well done. Feel free to drop a line underneath and let us know how it all went. All right, so today I thought what we would do is something really, really kind of specific. I came up with nothing fabulously sort of brand new in any way, shape or form, but I came up with a 9-card. Yes, we've got a 9-card reading for you, and it's going to be a success reading, your past, present, and future, a clarity pick a card reading. So we have a very specific layout for the 9 cards that we have, getting you some information about your past. It could be past lives too, past lives lesson or past lessons. I left that completely open. And then, some subconscious stuff that's going on and what we can do to heal it, and giving you all the information that you possibly need. So that's what we're doing today. Pile 1, I did close my eyes for this, which is why the words are quite random. They're lying up on my fridge, but then obviously I do see them, and then I allocate them to a pile. So the first pile has the word skin on there, which I thought was brilliant, because skin is, it's skin deep. It's the beginning of something. It's moving into going really, really deep and finding out who you are. And then the second pile I picked was rust, which I also thought was a wonderful sort of visual, because when something is rusty, you can just go ahead and pull that rust off. You can just shave it off and then repaint it or whatever. It's when you're at the rust stage, it's ready to be removed quite easily once you have the right tools. So I thought that was kind of nice for pile 2. And then pile 3, we have the word are. You are. So those are your 3 piles. As always, do whatever you need and take as much needed time as you need. How many times can I say need? For you to allocate whatever time you need, apparently one more time, to really align yourself with the energy here, because it's important. You really do get much more from these sessions, especially if you're working on the healing realm with these sessions too. So if you need to go ahead and pause the video and find a wonderful meditation or do some breathing and some really conscious breathing, whatever you need to do, just those 2 minutes can really change how you resonate with the reading. So I always recommend that you go ahead and do that. And the timestamps, as always, are down below, so you can get right into your reading and get all of the information that you possibly need. All right, so let's go ahead and put aside pile 2 and pile 3 for now. I'm going to have to work around Lily's tail. I hadn't really anticipated this, so I'm going to put skin for pile 1 here. So yeah, we're going to be working around Lily's butt, really. So if you chose pile 1 and you have skin, which I think is a wonderful, I also think of skinwalker too. I think of supernatural. I think of beings, creatures, things that we don't always know or see but are there. So I don't know if you want to think of yourself as a skinwalker. That's completely up to you. You're not even really supposed to say the word, so I'm going to stop talking about it. Anyway, the word is skin, and this is pile 1. So again, we are doing a success reading for you. It's your past, present, future, and your future, and it's really just clarity. So we have the first one we have here, and I have a mixture of oracle cards. I really sort of picked from each deck that I thought would do justice to get you the most information possible. So our very first card here, and we're about to put this down again, we're working around Lily. Our first card here is the 8 of Swords, and it's reversed, and it's your recurring past, your past lessons that keep coming up. So this is your very first card here. So 8 of Swords. So the first thing that I can see for you, pile 1, is that the one lesson that keeps coming up for you is understanding your own energy and taking, and we're just going to do real talk. There's no real point in spending all of this time getting you this information if we don't do any real talk. It's about taking full responsibility for everything that's happened in your life. And that, again, you know, I always say this, it doesn't mean that you weren't treated a certain way, and it doesn't mean that, you know, the forgiveness on the level that you're excusing what happened to you or how people treated you beforehand, not at all. But it's your recurring past lessons is that you have so much emotionality and you have so much beautiful, you're very sensitive, but it's when something happens and occurs to you, you shake it off in a very specific way. You sort of shake it off in a sort of a menial way, in a way, but then the wound stays and the scar stays. And what happens is that you start, whenever you move forward, your subconscious goes back to that one time when this happened, and you begin to build a narrative for yourself. This profound narrative that you have. So you're never really free from your past when you move forward. It's clouded. You're never really free in you are free in your present, but you're never really free in the future because it's clouded by your past. So profound responsibility for everything that's happened in your life. And that means that just sort of letting everything completely go. And there is absolutely a way to do that and reclaim who it is that you are. Again, it's not excusing what people did to you. It's just reclaiming your power. But there is a way of sort of cleansing your past and working outside of the narrative. It's this narrative that you've told yourself, this sense of betrayal that you've kept before. This has happened before. And even if it's a brand new situation that comes up for you, you'll find yourself comparing it to something that happened in the past. Well, this happened for me before. I've started a new job before. It always starts out well, but then something happens and, you know, and that doesn't give you the freedom to move forward. So that's your first, that's what I'm getting for you for number 1 here. So number 2 is what information do you need to know in order to move forward from these past lessons. So let's see what we have here. So the Wheel of the Year, the Wheel of Fortune here. So pretty much what we already said. The power lies with you. And I think the practical information would be the information that you need in order to move past these lessons is to accept that nothing was done to you that was actually done personally. Yes, it was done to you. Yes, you took it personally. You have every right to take it personally. And it's very difficult to say, oh yeah, you shouldn't take things personally. But really seeing it from the understanding that the way in which you were treated, the way in which something happened, it was either a lesson for you to know, or you were treated the way you were treated in a specific way because that's the limitations of the other person treating you that way, if that makes any sense. The way in which you were treated actually says more about them than it does about you. The way in which they see you is very much clouded by the way in which they see themselves, the way in which they treat themselves. So if you can go back to every situation and actually understand, A, the lesson, because there was a lesson for you to learn, and possibly a cycle for you to end if there were many lessons coming in that were seemingly a little bit different but had harbored the same sort of message. So if you can go in and A, see the message, and B, go in and really understand what it was that happened and don't take it personally and really sort of see where the projection started and ended, you were projected upon, and see it from their point of view, how limited they needed to have been to be able to see you that way. And then you can sort of lift out of the old, see it as a narrative and walk away from it without being offended or without carrying the energy of how it is they treated you. Because you can have a great day where you're like, I'm brand new, I've got this, I'm not living in the past anymore. And then something happens where you're triggered and you're brought back to one thing, and then you'll go back to it and then you'll be like, oh, this one thing is just bugging me. How do I get rid of it? The way in which you get rid of it, you make peace with it. And this is one particular way to be able to do that. So that's advice for you. Your third card is, what is it that your subconscious is telling you about past situations? So this is sort of an obvious thing that we're telling you. And all of these readings should be obvious. It should be really just letting you, just confirming what it is. A good reading is just confirming what you already know, and at best validating what you already knew. So this is a practical sort of advice that we can give you. But this is the subconscious of what's going on. Be your own first priority. Mural. I have to be really careful that I don't set fire to these cards. Not these particular cards, but cards in general. You know, it has happened, as well as the Lily's Tale, which I did not do. She did. So we're not great with fire in this house. So anyway, so what is it subconsciously that's telling you about these past situations? So you can, if you're just going to, yeah, Lily's foot's going to keep that in, keep that for you right there. So for the advice that we can put with this and we can integrate with this, what can we get you? That's first priority. First priority for you, your subconscious is telling you that in order to really understand what's going on, you have to make yourself a first priority. You have to put your needs first. There's still an inkling of you that still wants to be loved. Who doesn't? You deserve to be loved, but you look for that validation and that love outside of yourself. Your subconscious is telling you that you make your priorities first, and then you can help others. And that you don't look for any kind of self-love or self-validation outside of yourself. It's really about self-acceptance, self-love. When you have that authority, when you have that confidence, people automatically treat you different. But for everything that's happened to you so far, it's good for you to employ the things that we said. See it from their point of view. When you gather back your energy, see how they projected upon you, see how limited their version of you was based on how they saw themselves. See, this is a cycle. They're treating you, if they treated you with not enough respect, it meant that they didn't respect themselves. The way in which you end the cycle completely is that you begin to respect yourself, put your energy first. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't need, that it's not nice to be validated sometimes. We don't live on an island. Especially now, I know that a lot of people are staying a little bit more close to home than they normally are and staying safe, which is totally great and everything. But even before, we are not an island. We do need other people. Occasionally we do need advice. We do need other people to tell us that we did a good job. That's totally fine, especially when we're down on our outs sometime. There's nothing wrong with that. And in a group situation where the other person that tells you you're doing an amazing job genuinely sees you, and you both have a beautiful connection where it's one of those soulmate connections, even if it's not a romantic relationship, and you can trust that person, then that's wonderful. But looking for validation constantly, whether you realize you're doing it or not, remember, this is your subconscious card. We all want to be loved. Going back to your inner child, really integrating that inner child that you have and pulling in your inner child, healing your inner child, pulling in that confidence that you have, not looking for validation outside of yourself, will eradicate any need whatsoever to put up with anybody else's crap, pardon my French. So you never put yourself into the situation anymore where you feel as though you're being taken advantage of, right? So, and then this is the practical advice that you can do for situations that have already occurred. So we are moving on to 4. So this is exciting because this is your past. So if you've moved through this, we always say in every reading here, when you've moved through it, everybody is at a different stage. So if you've moved through this already, or you feel as though you've moved through most of it, but every now and again there's a little trigger that comes up. So this is just reminding you, but this is not really what you're working on because you've worked through it. Fantastic. Now this is your current situation. Number 4 here, transformation. There you go. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. Look at that card. That is gorgeous. I love that just a little bit more. This is you finally holding your own magic. And this is not just magic. Let's look at this card again. You are holding your own energy here that's coming up. And what you're really saying is you're going to do things on your own. You see, the other thing that when we look for validation outside of ourselves, when we get I'm just giving you a very specific example here. When we get these brilliant ideas, right? These absolutely inspired ideas. I find that when, I pray or I talk to Archangel Gabriel and I'm clear in mind, I always get these incredible ideas, right? And you have them and you think to yourself, this is brilliant. And then your mind starts going, I'm not in a position to do that. And then you ask somebody else and they go, what? Are you high? You've got $2 in the bank, and all of this other stuff. So this is your energy that's coming in with this transformation. All of your brilliant ideas, and you do think outside of the box, pile 1. You're brilliant at this. You think outside of the box and you get these brilliant ideas. Sometimes you act on them, and sometimes some of the energy falls away, like I said. And even if you put them into sort of action, kinetic energy, if they don't take off the way that you think you should, you get down on yourself very quickly. Either way, you're in a process where you have these brilliant ideas, but very sooner rather than later, this doubt starts to come in. Now, pulling in your energy from all of your past, you have the confidence to know that we seem to be doing the alphabet thing today, A, B, and C, but your brilliant idea is brilliant. If it's out there, it's going to happen. B, you never have to doubt yourself because it is divine timing. Sometimes things don't take off immediately, but sometimes they take off in incredulous ways, in incredible ways that just sort of happen instantaneously, and they can take off without a moment's notice. And there you are. It doesn't, with you and your energy, it's not necessarily a linear format. I can expect this amount of sales this week and this, if you're starting off your own company or your own side gig, just an example. The way in which when your energy is at that frequency and you're aligned, it can take off in a second without notice. So this is a matter of confidence, a matter of trusting yourself, a matter of pulling back your energy where none of this is affecting you anymore. You're not looking for any external validation, and you're not looking for anything. You're not looking to control anything. You're working in higher frequency. You're aligning. You're not controlling. Everything has its own system. Everything has its own timeline. And again, anything can happen at any moment. You get into that exciting mode where You know, you can wake up and your day, by the end of the day, your day can be infinitely different than how it started. And this is where your power is, your spark, your excitement. You've had moments of that. You've had one foot in there and one foot out, but you've not been able to maintain it before because you've been triggered and been going back into the old crap. But again, you've done this. You've done the work. It's just a little triggering here and there. This is your transformation. This is exactly where you are. It's absolutely wonderful. So this is you moving forward and really gaining that confidence and working with the universe in a brand new way. Now, card 5 is, what are the biggest underlying energies in your present moment? What are the biggest underlying energies in your present moment? Oh, okay. Sex magic. Love, sex, and magic. Well, that is absolutely wonderful. This is your present underlying energy. So this transformation is opening you up in many different ways. And I love that this is skin too, because this is, you know, for those of you who chose skin, this is so much layered. First of all, we said it was just skin. You know, you start off and it's one layer and then you go beneath the layer. But, you know, when you're being sensual with somebody, it is skin. It's skin. The way in which you touch somebody, the way in which you are with somebody is brand new. It also is an indication that your first and second chakra, and probably third chakra too, have had some major overhaul. And you are right here. Here goes Lily. Here goes Lily. Yep, straight into the flame. Straight into the flame. No, watch it. All right, she's going off into the windowsill now. Yeah, that's why she's got singed whiskers. All right, she's getting comfy. We'll get back to the sex magic in a minute. Don't worry. And she's good. All right. So, you know, if you've cleared out your second chakra too, you are ready for this energy coming in. Now, if you've already met somebody, this is a new level that's coming in of energy between you two. But this is a cosmic energy of the person that's coming in. It's definitely going to be some kind of soulmate. Your connection, the heightened connection, definitely sex magic if that's what you do too. That's a whole nother kind of reading that we could do. But that's what you're either heading towards or what you have right now. Now, this is your present card. So this energy is underlying right now. And this transformation is really pulling you into this energy. It's clearing you out for this energy to occur. This is the kind of energy that you have with somebody that's cosmic, sexual certainly, but it's cosmic in a way that is brand new. You would never have had this level with anybody else. And also the second chakra, it's clearing you out for a new level of perception, which will absolutely be clearer in your art. A lot of you are very creative. You're already brilliant at what you do, but your next level of creativity, these ideas, the way in which you communicate now is going to be next level stuff. Absolutely next level stuff. So on every level, sort of the sexual level, the creative level, the personal level, you're magnetic at the moment too, that you've always been charming. You've also known how to use that charm. You've always been charming. You've always been magnetic. It's not that you've used it for manipulation, but you've liked that power over people before. The way in which you're using this, your magnetic self here, is completely different. You're just giving off this aura, and others will absolutely react to it. So the only thing I will really say more about this card is, first of all, I'll say have fun. Absolutely have fun. And second of all, when you get out there and this energy is in and around you, you can afford to be picky. You can afford to be picky. There will be people out there who will be sort of surrendering to you. Enjoy the attention in that way, knowing who it is that you are. You're not looking for attention from them, but sometimes, again, it can be nice. But when it comes to this kind of cosmos, this kind of reaction that you're going to have with somebody, you don't have to worry, because you'll know that person. Once they walk into your life, you will absolutely know, this is the person I'm gonna go next level with. So that's amazing. So card 6 is, what is needed to create my optimum timeline? Now, this is your subconscious that we're doing here on 6. Your card 6, what is needed to create my optimum timeline? Now, your subconscious can kind of mess things up sometimes. So if we're aware of what's going on in the subconscious and we bring it into the consciousness, we can work with it in beautiful ways that doesn't mess us up. So let's see what's going on here. Fear. Fear. Now, specifically for you, the one thing that I got for you, Pal One, this is an amazing reading, by the way. Everybody has fear. But for you, it's always, it came up a little bit here, but it's always like you feel really confident, you feel really amazing, and then your emotionality is a little bit down the next day, and then you start doubting yourself. Now, understanding that you have fluctuations within your energy is totally fine, because you're an empath, you're sensitive, and sometimes even if you work with your chakras, which is something you should be doing anyway with your angels, to close them down and open them up based on what it is that you need, how much protection you need that day. If you're out and about, if you're around amazing energy, you keep it open, or this, that, and the other toxic energy, you shut it down a little bit. If you're in ascension mode and you're feeling too much in the crown chakra, you can shut it down just a little bit, so you can maintain through the ascension symptoms. There's lots of different things that you can do with your chakras, but essentially, your emotionality, you can claim your emotionality, but you might always be one of those people that have emotions, and there's nothing wrong with that. So sometimes you tend to worry about all the emotions that you have. When your emotions are great and happy, you're wonderful. But when the next day it comes in and you don't seem to be able to maintain, quite the same level as you had the day before, a little bit of doubt comes in, and then, the energy comes in, and then before you know it, you're in a full downward spiral, and then you're apt to being triggered or this, that, and the other. But there's an easy way to do this. Complete acceptance on your part of who you are. Your emotionality makes you strong. It makes you a superhero, absolutely. And for you, if you haven't already, definitely get on Beyond Fear, the 3-day free course. It's absolutely free. Always go with your intuition. If it feels like something you should do, this would be amazing for you, absolutely amazing for you, and you don't have to spend a penny. So all you have to do is really accept yourself on the level of the emotionality. Now, even though you don't have to be up and down constantly, but you can have fluctuating emotionality without having to really base your self-acceptance or your autonomy upon how you feel on every moment. So all you have to do for this is that, that fear that you won't be able to keep all these good things in your life, that you won't be able to maintain this great energy and this great frequency, that can be eradicated at any moment when you just accept exactly where you are and learn to work with your emotions in a really simple way, where they come in and they go out and they don't dictate who it is that you are. That's just a little tweak in perception. You've done all the work to get yourself there. This is just your subconscious saying, when the fear comes in, you tend to doubt yourself and wonder, what's wrong with me? I was so amazing yesterday. I had this great guy that was calling me, and I've got so many great things going on, and today I kind of feel like, well, you know what? You're a complex person. You have a lot of emotionality. You've got a lot of stuff that's going on in the empath world in your emotionality, but there's a way to deal with that, certainly, where that subconscious fear is not overriding and leaking into the rest of your life. So that's an easy one. Don't worry about it. Okay, so this is going to be exciting. Number 7 is most dreamed of future. What is it that you dream about in your future? The cow. Well, you don't have to dream about a cow specifically, but nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. I love this for you. Yes, this is complete autonomy. This is completely who you are. Being balanced, where you're not either a giver or a taker, and you're not attracting either one. You can give and take, and people can give and take, because you've always either completely been a giver and then you've attracted takers. So it's this supreme abundance, the supreme understanding of balance, and this nourishment of self-care. Again, putting yourself first, knowing that once that is sorted and you are able, you will absolutely be able to go in and have the life that you want. Not that you don't now, of course you do, but maintain the life that you want now, and bring in the abundance that you truly want, and the kind of manifestation in your life that can make your life effortless. Pile 1, you that is definitely your word, effortless. Write it with lipstick on your mirror, even if you're a fella. I'm just kidding. But write it somewhere, effortless. Put it on a t-shirt. That's what your word is. That's the kind of life that you want, with that firm foundation that you are looking to stay in and maintain constantly. Okay, so 8. What are the underlying energies around you right now? So what are the energies that are around you right now as this reading is going on? Patience. That's wonderful. And also we have 2 here. That really brings me back to, I can feel this energy around you, just in case we didn't have the sex magic card. Yeah, I'm going to show it to you one more time. Why wouldn't I? So I'll send it to you in an email, so you never forget it. There is somebody else coming in for you. A lot of this work is not necessarily so you can meet your significant other. Obviously, you're a beautiful being on your own, but who doesn't want somebody to share their life with? Nothing wrong with that. The patience that you've had, and the patience that you do have, and the trust that you have that this person is coming in. I do believe that you trust this person is coming in. I do believe that you can feel this person coming in. There is a unity. There's a unity within your soul. There's a unity coming in for somebody else. If you've just met this person again, these are always general readings. And I do find, even if you resonate with the pile at hand, you might be at different segments. You might be at different stages of what's going on. If you've already met this person that's coming in and you're looking for a confirmation, and you think this person could be a really significant person, the confirmation is an absolute yes. You waited a long time for this person. For those of you who are thinking, I'm a late bloomer, maybe it's too late for me, I was working on myself too long, absolute rubbish. This person is coming in and it'll be out of nowhere. And enjoy this person, because this is a person you can have an absolute brand new beginning with. So this is a wonderful card to have around you right now, in this energy right now. So your last card is, what do you need to release to create your most dreamed of future? So to be able to create this land of abundance, nourishment, putting yourself first, this real balance of asking and receiving, this effortless life that you want, what do you need to release in order to create that? Ace of Air, brilliant new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth of a situation, a challenging beginning. Did we not say this at the beginning? This is incredible, okay? This is absolutely incredible. Right under Lily's foot there. It's, what do you need to release? You need to release trying to control everything. You need to release not trusting yourself when you have these brilliant ideas that are outside of the box, even if they don't, quote unquote, take off the way you think they will. The one thing that you can do in a practical way, when you have these brilliant ideas, okay, they are going to take off, but they may never take off the way in which you think they're going to take off. So the minute you go in with this brilliant idea, please just allow it to happen organically. Put your energy out there, keep working at it, keep your confidence, know that it's going to be fine, but stop trying to think about the outcome. And if none of the outcome is coming to you in the way that you think it should, don't get down on yourself. Do not doubt yourself. You have these brilliant new ideas. You have these inspirations. You see the truth. You see what people need. You have to learn to trust. It might be that the way in which you believe everything's going to work out is not going to work out that way at all. It's going to be 100 times better than you ever thought. So in order to eradicate this challenging beginning that you seem to have, you get everything going, you've got this idea, you're great, you either listen to people where they pull you down and say you couldn't do this, or you start it and then it doesn't go the way that you think it does, and then you get disappointed and down on yourself. Always concentrate on the brilliant idea. Always have faith and trust that it will work out 100% better. And there she goes. All right, well, you've just been blessed by Lily's butt, so there's nothing that can go wrong there. So you literally cannot go wrong with these ideas. You need to trust them, but you also need to trust that they need space in order to come to fruition the way that they need to. It's almost like you need to put them out there and let them go. So that's all that you need to do. You just need to release the idea that you know how any of this is going to end, any kind of control. You also need trust in the universe, and you need to focus on the positive, on the brilliant idea, versus concentrating on what could go wrong or what isn't going fast enough. To me, that's just a simple state of perception rather than anything else. That's just a matter of catching yourself feeling that way and going, I'm doing it again. Nope, I'm going to go back to concentrating on absolutely my brilliant idea and knowing that it's going to be amazing. And honestly, it has the chance to take off in ways that you wouldn't have thought. So my big thing here, what we're trying to tell you here is whatever you put out there, your brilliant idea, I would say that it's almost certain 100% that it's going to end up completely different. It's going to end up infinitely better than the way you thought. So one way to learn how to trust is that if it's not going the way that you think it should be going, it's because the universe has a much bigger version for you, a much bigger vision for you, because you put in the work, you put in the trust. If you've done that and you're showing up, then the universe is rewarding you. It's just rewarding you in a completely different way. Just bear that in mind. That's all. So we're going to end with a little bit of fairy dust energy, because why not? So I'm going to pick one more card for you here, pile one. And we have arrows. Direction is yours to choose today. Your inner light will guide the way. Absolutely. I feel as though you really do know where you're going. You really have done the work. You really do have these brilliant ideas, and you're ready to implement them if you haven't implemented them already. And again, if you have, it's just a matter of how you maintain them or allow them to kind of turn into what it is they're supposed to turn into. So never doubt your ideas and where you're coming from. It's absolutely brilliant. I feel as though the path that you're on is specific. You know where you're going. You know your direction. You know who you are. Even though you doubt yourself at times, as we said at the earlier part of the reading, you do come back to the fact that you know that you're a sovereign being and you're absolutely incredible. You do understand this about yourself. So just keep reminding yourself. So if this resonated with you, pile one, do feel free to give me a thumbs up. Do let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. And do feel free, if you have not subscribed already, to subscribe and hit that bell button. It really does help out the channel, and it's so appreciative. We'd be so appreciative to have you here at the Unicorn Light little table that we have going on. And don't forget that free day course on fear, Beyond Fear. It's a wonderful course. The link is down below. Go ahead and get yourself on there if you feel as though that's something that you could use. It's only 3 days. I kept it short, but there's a lot of information in there for you. And don't forget our 21-day working with the unicorn. I swear it is wonderful stuff. And it's not foo-foo at all. It's not. It's learning how to work with timelines, your ultimate timelines, and learning how to be badass and working with your inner child and getting that fun back. It's on every level. It's at an introduction price right now at $33. So I would get on that soon if you're thinking about it. All right, pile one, you take care. I'm really excited for your energy coming in. You stay safe and sane, and until we meet again, bye-bye. Okay, pile two, if you chose Rust, this is your reading. I'm going to put it right there. And don't forget, we have the healing candle. You can either project upon it in a way that you can release the old, or you can pull in healing and manifestation, whatever you want to use it for. Our orange candle for Sunday, which is when I'm filming this. You probably won't see it on Sunday, but it doesn't matter. The energy is in and around there. And yet we're introducing Lily's butt too. If you've seen some of my other videos, Lily and my other cat Mildred sometimes gets in on the reading. So we've got some extra cat energy for you today, pile two. So what we are doing is a success reading, your past, present, and future. As much clarity as we can get you. It's a 9-card reading. So they're all perfectly selected for you from different decks, Oracle and Tarot. Just smoothing it out for Lily there. And your first card is your recurring past, your past lessons that keep coming up. Queen of Wands. That is a beautiful card. Let's see. Get those. So for your first card, pile one, it's a remembrance of your power and your power of, what I'm getting specifically, of your power of autonomy and being authentic in your own right. Very specific. So what keeps coming up for you is sometimes you doubt yourself. What I'm feeling for you is sometimes you doubt yourself because you haven't had enough training, or you haven't gone to the right schools, or I feel as though in any situation you can always come up with something where you haven't, there's a part of you that doesn't feel as though you've quite, quote unquote, done it right. You know, you didn't go to Oxford or Cambridge or Yale or Harvard or anything, which is really funny because these are general readings, but for most of you, you wouldn't have wanted to go there anyway. You're trailblazers. You're not really into the system. You, if anything, you would have been really like wary of the system. But it's just a matter of, for some of you, and these are general readings, but for some of you, it could have been the idea of what it is to make it. And because you've gone your own way, and you've always gone your own way, it's a matter of, sort of doubting yourself. You do respect who you are. You do love the choices that you've made. But sometimes, you don't always put people on a pedestal, but you might doubt yourself if somebody you feel as though have more credentials than you do. Or, and it could be that they're just telling you that they have more credentials than you do, and that there's no actual evidence in the way that they're speaking or their energy that they really do. And most of the times, it's sort of an underlying thing. These are just sort of past lessons. So it's just a reminder that your power is to really incorporate and understand at every level that what you do is on your own terms, and you'll always be that way. And it's wonderful. You're a trailblazer. You're not going to go around the system. You're not going to do it the same way that everybody else does. It'll be like, Goodwill Hunting. Instead of necessarily going to school, you will read all of those books, and that is perfectly fine. Now, for those of you who are educated, that's fine too. You may have gone out of your way to choose certain courses or work with certain people, or have done a bunch of workshops, or trained with specific people. Whatever it is that you've done and whatever level that you're at, it's absolutely brilliant. You're exactly where you need to be. You have an incredible amount of wisdom, a incredible amount of power, and the way in which you taught yourself, the way in which you learned all of this information is the best for you, because that's how you're going to communicate your truth with authority to others. If you had gone through certain systems, or done things a little bit differently, you wouldn't have been so open as the person that you are now. So I think intrinsically you know that. You do understand that. We're sort of telling you stuff you already know. The reason why this comes up is that sometimes you do doubt yourself when there's others in the room, or if you're comparing yourself to other people and they've done a little bit more, or they're a little bit further on, you wonder, maybe I should be there. There's certain components to this card, but it's reminding you that the way in which you've done things is perfect. You can take off at any moment, and if you already have a successful business, that's wonderful. You can take it to the next level any way you want. But the most important thing is that you do have the power, you do have the trust, you do know who you are, you do have the wisdom, you have everything. You've done all the schooling, you know it. There's never any doubt. Don't compare yourself to others. Never put other people up on a pedestal. Don't do it. It doesn't matter if they have 3 PhDs. It does not matter. You are the sort of person who will be in that room and will be able to come up with something brilliant in that situation. So you never, ever have to compare or contrast in any way your life compared to somebody else's. So that's your, all right, Lily's doing her thing. So that's your card 1. So what information do you need in order to move from your past lessons? So to get out of the past lessons, this is your recurring past lessons. What info do you need to finally put this to rest so it never bothers you again in any way, shape, or form? The Witch. Well, couldn't say anything better than that. I mean, this is the first card, the Witch, the owning your own pleasure, your own beauty, your own personality, being proud of the way that you did things, not going in with the energy of, maybe I shouldn't say anything, I'm not really qualified. Say it anyway. The way in which you speak is very, you have a very sort of almost sort of simplistic yet complex way of seeing the world. And just because somebody's learned something from a book, again, I've gone to a traditional college, I'm just giving this as an example, the way in which you've experienced life, the way in which you've opened yourself up to energy, the way in which you've worked with people and yourself and have gone deep, you have so much to say on pretty much everything. I mean, even if somebody's talking about quantum physics, for instance, you don't know the ins and outs of quantum physics, you will be able to pick up, you're smart enough to be able to pick up the basics of it and still be able to come up with something that's brilliant for some, for the room to go, That's an interesting concept. I mean, so really honing in on your power, honoring your power in every way, in every shape or form, in every situation. So it means in a practical way, no more comparing yourself. Sorry, Lily's just having a little bath here in the corner, but we're doing our stuff here. Never doubt yourself. Never compare yourself. Never put anybody else on a pedestal. And just accept exactly where you are and the experience that you have for exactly what it is. So that's a very practical way. All right, now, Lily, I'm going to have to move you. I'm going to have to just direct you here somewhere and watch her tail. All right. So that's just a really easy way of moving permanently. And I feel as though because you have the Queen of Wands, because you have this intellectual side, because you have this energy, you're already doing the work. You're already there. So this should not be a surprise to you at all. But this is merely a reminder at this point. Okay. The third card. What is your subconscious telling you about these past situations? So as we know, the subconscious can come up and kind of wreck us sometimes. But if we know the subconscious, we can apply it to our lives and it becomes conscious. So these are pretty conscious, really. These are patterns and these are practical ways that you can keep in this energy and never be bothered by it. But what is your subconscious telling you about these situations right now? Sun. Paint the sun back into your sky. Absolutely. So the one thing that I'm getting here is your subconscious. There's a little bit there. And, I'd be interested to see how many this resonates with too, because this is a very clear message I got, but it's always a general reading. Is that you do believe in yourself and you're wholeheartedly prepared to accept the way in which you've done things. You're also proud of the way in which you've done things. You've always been a trailblazer, but sometimes that's frustrated you. But you've come on to the other side of that. But there is this subconscious sort of knowing that you did things differently. And there's a little bit of a letdown. Maybe it's a family unit or something in your past where you feel as though you may have disappointed people by doing things differently or not doing things, as quickly or speedily or in the same fashion as other people, or you didn't pursue success, or you don't have the kind of life that really it is successful, but it's successful on your own terms. There is a subconscious need there to sort of go back and repair living up to other people's values. Now you don't live up to them anymore. And the people, I feel as though, who may have put this upon you were happy that you did, for the most part, that they were happy that you went in the way that you did. They are proud of you, but there's just a little bit of that dichotomy there. There's a little bit of that just making sure that your subconscious knows that you did your best and that you didn't let anyone down who wanted the best for you and knew that you could do things a different way, but you chose to do them differently. So again, this is the sun here. And the 11 2 coming in, it's a 2. So it's about unity. So you are proud of the way which you've done things. This is not a shame thing. Oh my God, I've done this. How do I face them? Nothing like that. You're proud of that. It's just that, if you want to do a little meditation and get back into who you are and just make sure there's not just a little of that tiny feeling left over from maybe feeling as though, not disappointment necessarily, but that you didn't do things in the way that was anticipated and what toll that takes. Again, a little bit of a shift in perception. Bring it into your meditation. Really explore what your subconscious has there. But really, it's about the sun. You already know that you have it. So it's not that you're ashamed of the way in which you've done things or you would have changed anything. It's just a matter of making sure that you feel as though you've done everyone else proud, or that you're proud enough that other people can go, suck it, basically, depending on the person and the situation. So just check in with your subconscious. That can ease in certain ways and provide some doubt where there doesn't need to be any doubt, and that's the way it can come up. But if the subconscious is brought into the light, even if it's just a little feeling, you can just release it really quickly and then it'll never come up. But I'm really not feeling like this is a big thing for you. But it did come up in the subconscious, and we're here to tell you exactly what we see. So that's it. So I'm moving this down. So your Queen of Wands is a little bit off camera, but it is here. So your current situation is your card 4. This is exciting. All right, play, have fun, celebrate. Don't be so serious. Okay. So this is a brilliant card to have in your current situation. You've done all the work. You've done a lot of this work. You've gone through the dark night of the soul. You're very empathic. You're definitely a sensitive soul. You have done that shadow work. I swear, you've done that shadow work. That's it. Now you're ready to get serious. You're ready. You just feel ready on all levels. Now, what happens here that we tend to do, and we all tend to do it, is that we get into that practical mind frame. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's get the list out. Let's do this. Let's do that. Now, I want to be clear. No one's saying that you shouldn't take any action. Action is wonderful. Kinetic energy, moving things forward, that's wonderful. It's not like, I'm going to win the lottery and you're going to sit on your arse and not buy a ticket or do anything to create that energy. That's not what you're doing. You're always going to move forward. But sometimes what we do is when we get too serious, when we're ready, that quote unquote ready, it puts us in the serious mode, right? And when we get into that serious mode, we forget that it's all about alignment and not control. So your thing here, your advice here is to remember to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, enjoy exactly where you are. Play, celebration, celebrate who you are. I'm giving you a big round of applause right now because everything that you've done has been incredible. You've gone through this. You've done so much work. There's been ascensions. There's been ups and downs. You've had the whiplash. You've been, head, 180 like Reagan from The Exorcist. You've done it all, not that we're bringing that energy into this, but you know what I mean? So, it's easy to get into this, I'm serious, I'm ready, let's do this mode. But this is the time where you've done everything and it's almost time to put that energy into motion, but with this real playful, beautiful side, with the sense of alignment. Your mantra here is expect more and do less. But the energy in which that you were going at your life in order to get everything, to look at your life and to look at all of your past lives that you've gone through and all of your everything that you've needed to do for your self-healing. It did take a certain amount of seriousness. It took a lot of dedication, and that's wonderful. Now it's time to sort of slow down the brakes and just have some fun where you're at. So yeah, you're ready. This is the time to trust and take off. And again, you're always going to be moving kinetic energy, so you don't have to worry about it. But this might be time to sort of back off a little bit and kind of see what comes up. Put out the general energy of what you want. Work with the universe. Level up with the universe and say, I'm here now. Here's my frequency. What have you got for me? And have some fun. It's going to happen a lot quicker and you're going to enjoy the journey a lot more. It's difficult sometimes when you're really focused on yourself in a good way because you're sorting through your own stuff. It's so easy to get into that manufactured mind of being serious and moving forward and having this really practical, this is what I'm doing today, this is what I'm working on right now. And but you've come out on the other side of that, relax that energy now, move off into a different path and have some fun. Inner child coming out right there and having some fun. So we're going to give you some more information on this too. So your card 5, or what are the biggest underlying energy in the present? So what's your underlying energy in your present moment as you're, speaking to us, as you're here in pile 2? So it's solar, which is funny because we're on 5 and this is 5. This is your card 5, a safe and happy home. So your biggest underlying energy is to keep the foundation safe. You've done so much work on yourself right now that you really want to keep this grounded sense of who you are and this foundation that's yours and yours alone. And that's perfectly understandable, not just for yourself, but for your family, for people who work for you. You want to keep this grounded sense of all of the work that you've done collectively, personally, globally, and you want it grounded in the present moment so you know who you are, and in order to sort of have that relationship with fear where you can feel as though you know how it works for you, you can see it as a teacher rather than something that's ruled your life. So that's where you are with that card. And we're going to get some more information because card 6 is what is needed to create my optimum timeline. So this is your subconscious. Your subconscious, what is needed to create your optimum timeline. So you're building your foundation now to create your optimum timeline. Your subconscious is telling you that you need sovereignty. Absolutely. And that works completely and totally with this firm foundation that you're working on, that firm foundation that cannot be cracked by anything, by whoever gets elected, by whoever says anything to you, by anything. It's the strong sense of who you are, where nothing really matters on the external. It doesn't shift who you are and what you do. And that's what we're all striving for. And you can provide that safe and happy home, physically, your actual home, but you as a sovereign being can definitely create that for somebody else without a doubt. You absolutely can. And that's what you're working for. So your subconscious is letting you know without a shadow of a doubt, keep up that work, keep up that alignment versus control, keep up working on that foundation. Make sure that you keep your power. You know that your power, not comparing yourself to anybody, knowing who you are completely, keeping that sovereignty there. That's your subconscious letting you know, which honestly doesn't feel that subconscious for me. It feels pretty much out in the open, but that's your subconscious. So number 7, your card 7 is your most dreamed of future. So in the future, what it is that you are dreaming of, what it is that you want. The B, luck, industrious, sweet victory. Absolutely. So pretty much what we were saying, you're ready to move forward with whatever it is. It could be a new career. You're ready for love. You're ready for something, ready for the next level if you're already in love. These are general readings. But you always want to be sort of working in a community, working with other people, constantly using your mind creatively, making the world a better place, making the world a more creative place, interesting projects, things manifesting immediately in your life, having this interesting, beautiful life, freedom where you can go off and do whatever it is that you want to do, and not have to worry about it, and having those sweet victories of all those seeds that you've planted before coming up and moving into that sovereignty too, and then helping others, all those creative things that you've been working on, those business ideas that you've been working on, putting them out there so they can be a catalyst for other people. And really sort of being known for, I'm getting this understanding that wanting to be known for what you do, and that's totally fine. If you have that understanding of who that is for you as a general reading again, then that is not because it's your ego. It's because you were meant to do that. You were meant to be successful in a way where people would know who you are and what you do, and you would be respected for what you do in your own community. Absolutely. So this is really what you're looking to do. This is really what you want. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to achieve it whatsoever. That's your most dreamed of future. It feels to me, if you stay in alignment and you keep up that beautiful childlike perspective, there's no reason why this isn't absolutely your future right now. So your card 8 is, what are the underlying energies around you right now? So let's see. What are the underlying energies around you right now? So these underlying energies around you right now as we speak to what we just said here. So completion, number 9, absolutely. 9 coming into 10 here too. So you are ready to see everything, to see your payoff. You've been working at this for a while. And you are ready for all of these components of your life to come together to fruition. And there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't. You are ready. The quickest way, I'm going to go back to it because that's the best advice that we can give you. The quickest way that you can assure that you stay the busy bee all the time and have this kind of energy around you is to stay in the play mode. Now, for some of you, that may feel counterproductive. It doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. It means that you bring in a playful, honest, completely open energy, expansive energy to everything that you do. So when you put out the energy of what you think you want, put it out there, do the work, and see where it goes. Your word is expansion. If you keep that expansive energy, integrate that inner child. I know you've done that inner child work. Integrate her full time. Integrate your inner, her, he, however they want to be. called gender fluid. I always think of inner children as gender fluid. So keep them firmly within your scope of how you are interacting with your life, and this is exactly what will happen. And it's already, the understanding should be coming in right now, all of the stuff that you want. So the completion is really coming in around the energy of all these seeds that you planted before coming into fruition. People coming, published books, people, what is it? The other thing that I'm seeing being booked for. Now, I know a lot of stuff is like virtual right now, but it's not always going to be this way. I know it feels that way. But being booked for workshops and things like that for some of you, because of you being known for the work that's coming out right now. So there's a light being shone on who you are and what you do and your uniqueness of how you do it. So that's the completion that comes in for the seeds that you've sown. But it's also a brand new beginning with your happy, safe foundation of moving off in any direction that you want. Again, this is really about being industrious, moving off. I see you having like 4 or 5 different things that you're doing at the same time, whatever, a YouTube channel, private readings, working on a book, whatever it is that you're doing. These are just general examples. But just doing lots of things. It's mainly about the creation of what you're putting out there and the energy of what you're putting out there. But the busier you are sometimes, the happier you are. You often have several different things going on at the same time. So the last thing that we have here is what do you need to release to create your most dreamed of future? So to create the busy bee, what do you need to release? The 6 of fire. Victory, good news is on its way. Public recognition of rewards. Did we not just say that? I swear. Hello. Did we not just say that? I would say that what you need to release is any doubt that it will happen. We're going to come back to the beginning of this. It's not going to happen the way that you thought. Sorry. If life was that predictable, boring, yawn, yawn, yawn. Give it some expansiveness. You've done the work. You are so hardworking. You've done all the personal work, interpersonal work, global work. You've sown those seeds. You're doing the work. Go back to your inner child. Have some happiness there. Lighten everything up. Do not fear that anything will not come to fruition. It absolutely will. And in ways that you could not have imagined. Much better than you could even imagine. Incredible, incredible, incredible stuff. Do not doubt yourself. If it's not happening as quickly as you thought or the way that you thought, tough. Let it go. It just means that the universe has a bigger story for you coming up. So we would say that the only thing that you need to release is your need to control, trust, and just remember you're a trailblazer. You've always done things a little bit differently now. So expect different results than what you think you're going to get, right? And remember, if the universe isn't quite delivering on the level that you think they're delivering, it means that it's going to blow up real big, real quick. Don't take this sort of linear attitude to what you're doing. You could blow up in a second and things can change really, really quickly. One phone call, one contract, one something can just change your entire sort of dominoes effect, and then you're in. I do feel as though this will be very, very quick kinetic energy and it'll take off really quickly. This is not like just building. So if it's not taking off the way that you want or the way that you think it should, there's a reason for it. No, do not distrust yourself, and don't get into this, oh, woe is me, woe is me. Sometimes you can feel sorry for yourself, pal, too. Sometimes you've worked on that a lot, too. But that's another thing. If you integrate fully your inner child, I'm getting these fairy dust cards for you at the end. If you integrate your inner child, they'll have some downtime where things aren't, maybe taken off the way that you think. But again, they're going to happen really quickly. So get ready for it. So enjoy this downtime with your inner child. Let them do their thing and be happy. Because that's going to bring in everything. Because that's going to bring in all that energy a lot quicker. So you probably noticed that, my camera did its thing there for a second. So, because Lily's butt's on the other side of the reading. So as we said, we are going to give you a little bit of fairy dust to end this beautiful reading. And your card is, let's see, keep going. The world at times is big and loud, but we'll make sure you're safe and sound. So that comes back to your safety coming back to your foundation also comes back to remember to trust, always trust, keep going, keep doing this. Expansiveness is your word. Remember, anything can happen at any time. You've absolutely got this. No more comparison, standing in your sovereignty, and really, really enjoy that playfulness, and that will get you there quicker. It'll keep you in alignment. So if this resonated with you, pal 2, do let me know in the comments. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. I love hearing from you guys. If you have not already, do consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you here at Unicorn Light Tarot. You can click that bell icon so you'll be the first to be notified whenever a new video comes up. And of course, the 3-day Beyond Fear course is absolutely wonderful. It's completely free. You can get on it from clicking the link down below, and I think it'd be wonderful for you too if you feel as though that's something that you want to do. And also working with your badass self and your inner child, 21-day unicorn abundance, also down below at the great price of $33. $33. 21 days, change your life. If any of those are interesting to you, then go ahead and come and join us, because we're all having a good time doing both of those. So until we meet again, pal 2, you stay safe and sane. Bye-bye. Okay, pal 3, welcome. If this is you and you chose the R, you are in the present moment. You are. This is your pile. As a reminder, we have a success reading, your past, present, and future. We got a little subconscious stuff going on. We'll get you some information. And we're also using the beautiful orange healing candle here today. It might actually completely burn down as we do this, which is wonderful, but it's been working all the way through pile 1 and 2, and now you. So if you can use it, you can use it any way you want, either to release, get rid of stuff, get rid of the old, the past, whatever you no longer need, or you can bring abundance and healing to you. It's totally up to you, but that's what we're using. So we are going to start with your cards. We have both I chose Oracle and Tarot cards for you. Different piles for different messages. So your first message is your recurring past and your past lessons that keep coming up. What are they? Your recurring past and past lessons that keep coming up. What are they? Okay, so you have the Ace of Swords. This is a beautiful card. It's a reminder that your past lessons is always talking from your source of strength. You definitely, I'm sorry about her tail there, but oh no, she's moving off. What are we doing? What are we doing? You have a beautiful way of being in the world, and when you do speak from your heart, and sometimes even when you're angry and you know when somebody's kind of pushed you, you still speak from your heart. But when you speak from your heart, you have this beautiful truth, and the way in which you communicate is very clear, and it gets to the heart of something. Now, not everybody likes to hear what you have to say, but if they don't like what you have to say, it's usually because 9 times out of 10, it's because they deserve, you know, the tearing, a little bit of the tearing of what you're telling them, and they don't want to hear it, but they know it's true. Lily, please. Papa. Sorry. She's just trying to eat something over there. We do feed her regular food, so I don't know what she's doing. So it's just a matter of staying in your truth at all times. Now, you know that when you express yourself, you know it comes from your heart, but you've also dumbed down your truth sometimes because of the reaction that other people have given you. So there's times when you feel as though you should have said something and you don't. And, you know, and also the reaction that other people have given you toward your truth. Sometimes you've taken that quite personally because it's really hurt your soul. But really, at the end of the day, it's their reaction because they can't deal with whatever it is that you're doing. And really what should happen is that we're hoping that when you stay with your truth at all times and communicate the way that you are, you know, even if somebody doesn't want to hear it, they're going to go off and do something about it. If you don't speak that truth, and there's none of that kinetic energy going around, there's none of that catalyst going around. Now, people could be really defensive in the moment and then go back, and it could really sets something off in them like a fire. All right, something's going to happen here. They may not ever admit that you're right, but if you don't express your truth at every moment, and express your truth to yourself too, sometimes you do not admit to yourself what it is that you truly want. You dumb yourself down. For instance, the practical mind, you don't allow yourself to dream. If you're looking for a dream house, you'll be looking for something relatively in your price range because you're being practical. Just as an example, these are general readings, these are just examples. Instead of looking for your dream house, the idea of looking for your dream house is that you go for something expensive, you see what you really want versus what you're going to settle for. And you've done this before. I'm sorry, Lily is just, she's being a little bit, oh great. Well, at least she's staying clean, right? So that's your recurring past, and wanting to always stand in your own truth and be truthful about what it is that you want, and wield that sort of truth in every shape or form. Now, a lot of you are creatives, and even if you do put your truth to the paper, truth to the song, or truth to somewhere else, you're still nervous when it comes out. Because people often do react, sometimes quite violently, to your truth, but that's because you cut to the core of what it is, and people don't like being told that they don't have it right and they don't have it together and they're full of it. But you can do that, and you don't always do it directly. You're just saying the truth. You're not calling people out. That's not what you do. But it's really about not being fearful of your own truth and communicating on your own terms at all times. But we've got some more information for you too, because card 2 is what information do you need to know in order to move past these lessons. So there's some extra help coming for you in a specific way here. So we've got the Holly King here too. So that's standing in and claiming all aspects of yourself, claiming the darkness, claiming the magic, and also claiming the magic that came out of the darkness. I think that's really important too. All aspects of your personality. Once all those aspects of your personality are integrated and fully accepted, you will accept yourself and your truth as you see it. And also you will stand in your own sovereignty and your own confidence in a way that when people react, you'll be like, that's just them. I want to be really clear. The way in which you speak is very tactful. You're very aware of other people's feelings and how they are. You're overly concerned with how you speak and how you communicate. Overly concerned with how the other person is going to take it, or at least you have been. Let's remember that this part of the reading is the past. I always say with these readings, even if they resonate, you might be at different factors. You might be at a different road down the road. So you might be right here, or this is energy that you've already come out of on the other side because this is your past. So integrating all aspects of yourself and the journey that it took for you to go into the darkness, to see all points of view. And that's something that you can pride yourself on. You have the experience now. You see all points of view. You're really empathic in that way. So, you do have the truth, and the way in which you speak your truth is with a lot of dichotomy. It's a lot of beauty. You really do have a way with words. If somebody's reacted to it, it's because they don't want to hear what you have to say, because you're the light, you're the brightness, and they don't want to be called out on their stuff. But that's really just their point of view. That's just really who they are and where they are at the time. It cannot reflect on you anymore. And for one or two people who may react quite, who the hell do you think you are? You're going to get 20 people who think you're amazing. So, when you're wielding your sword of truth, remain in the positive, remain in the people, remain in the thoughts of the people that you're here to help, because you're here to bring your truth, your version of the truth, your version of going through everything that you've been through, your beautiful life, in order to help others. That's why you're here. So dumbing down your truth, or being worried about how your truth is taken, or not really standing in your truth as often as you do. Now, most of you know when to say things. Now, be careful, make sure that you know what your truth is. A lot of you have done the work. Your truth, make sure it's not projection when you're putting it out there. This is just a message I got for a couple of you. Most of you know your truth and you really speak from your heart. Some of you, though, speak occasionally from a wound. So, when you are wielding that sword of truth, make sure it really is your truth and you're not speaking from that wound. That I'm paraphrasing, but heal your wounds so you don't bleed on people who didn't hurt you. That's coming up for just a small percentage, 1 or 2% of you who might be reading this. Make sure that it really is coming from truth and not coming from your wounds, and you're not trying to lash out at somebody for something. Again, very rare, and most of you, when it does, you'll take the according steps to do what you need to do to make it better. But for 90% of you, 99% of you, that's where you are, and you got this. So for the pile 3, or card 3 I should say, what is it that your subconscious is telling you about this past situation? So this is all out and about. Subconscious, as we said in pile 1 and pile 2, can be a little bit icky insofar as if it leaks into your consciousness, it can be one of those things that's just a little bit icky. So we'll find out what is your subconscious saying about this particular situation here. Lighthouse, don't doubt your worth. Oh my God, we just said that. So your subconscious is reminding you that it's more important for you to speak your truth. And for those of you who we just said that you are lashing out, maybe that's part of the process. You just need to lash out a little bit, just to get used to getting out there and saying your truth. Again, no one's giving you permission to go out there and lash out, but sometimes it comes out a little bit more forcefully than it does. You're always the person that's going to go back and fix a situation if you genuinely feel as though you kind of messed up. So if it's something that you're worried about in the subconscious part of it, I would say that even if you don't really know how to communicate, just trust in your heart and communicate from your soul anyway, and wield that truth no matter what. So it's just a matter of reminding you that you are here, the lighthouse, you are here to share your truth. You are here to share your particular truth, and the way in which you work with the truth, the way in which you articulate your truth is the way in which you will do this. So dumbing it down in any way, shape, or form, or doubting yourself is not, it's going to go back into this sort of circular affair where you're like, I really should have done that, and that's going to play on you, and then it's going to be a little bit more difficult next time for you to do this. And before you know it, you're in a situation where you could have told the truth from the beginning. You could have called people up on things. You could have made things better, and now you feel as though you've got the weight of your shoulders around you, and you feel as though you've buried yourself somewhere, and you can't do it now because it's too late. So it's a reminder that it's never too late, but speak in the moment. Always take, a small moment so you're not coming from your ego. Just a moment, and then your truth will come from your heart. But the way in which you articulate yourself is brilliant. I mean, you can stop an argument in a second by the way you speak to people. So this is what you're here to do. You've always told the truth, even when you were younger. People would say something and you would literally tell it as it is. You've always had that sort of aspect to your personality, and other siblings or whatever, friends, that sometimes that could have pissed people off. When people come to you and, they want a little bit of sympathy, nobody better for you. But if they want the truth, you'll tell them the truth, but they didn't really want the truth, and now they're angry with you. That's another, again, a general reading, but that's another aspect of your personality. So you know how to do this. Don't ever dumb it down. Don't get into that cycle anymore. Don't ever doubt yourself. So if there's anything that you need to do, subconsciously, meditation, anything that you need to do to sort of reinvent or solidify your voice and your truth, go ahead and do that so none of this leaks out anymore. Your current situation, I'm going to move this down. Your current situation is the card right now. That's the current situation when you get right into this reading. So right now, what is your current situation? Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Absolutely, we talked about this. Your truth. It's your truth. The way in which now there's many different ways to bring it out creatively, whether you're a writer or a singer, or whether you work with children and they appreciate the truth. Children love the truth. They love it when you just speak to them matter-of-factly. They love that. They absolutely love it, And in many ways, they are little grown-ups. That's not to say that children shouldn't be treated like children. They should have a childhood. But, in many ways, children are little grown-ups. They love to be spoken to, matter-of-factly. there's several different ways you can bring your truth to the world, but you're here to shine your truth. And you're here to do it with profound responsibility, but without looking over your shoulder, without worrying about the circumstances afterwards or the repercussions. You've had a past life where this has happened before, where your truth actually got you into a little bit of trouble. And that might be something with your subconscious too that you might want to just clear out once and for all. For those of you who are resonating with this should not be a big deal for you. You should already know that, you've had your truth before, you've had your power before, you've dumbed it down to feel safe. But you've worked through that. You've worked through the darkness. You've done the dark night of the soul. A lot of people have. They're in ascension mode now. You've done the darkness. What is it? The shadow self. You've done all of that stuff. You really are on the other side of that for most of you, I would say. So getting into the answering of the call, and there's a myriad of different ways you can do that, and you can bring everything together, writing, slam poetry. There's so many different ways to bring in certain things. You'll be thinking outside of the box, but you are here to answer the call, and your call is to remain in truth and to speak that truth as often as possible. So your card 5 is what are the biggest underlying energies in the present. So your biggest underlying energies around the card that we just pulled is psychedelic, wisdom from the fairy folk. So we've got a little extra layer with this, which is wonderful. So most of you, a lot of you will be channelers. A lot of you will work in different realms. You could be some kind of shaman or working with different realms and bringing in truth from 5D to 3D, or however it is that you're doing it. Wisdom from fairy folk, elementals, definitely bringing in this kind of wisdom, the Atlantis wisdom to Palladium wisdom, intergalactic, galactic wisdom, all of this true. And true wisdom too. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, and I'm not saying this to be mean or to concentrate on it, but even a lot of the spiritual community have gone a little woo-woo with a lot of stuff that's going on. So there's a lot of people saying a lot of different stuff right now. And I always say to people, hold space for them. Maybe they'll come back into the light, but they're spilling a lot of stuff that's just like, we must do it this way. This is what's happening, and da-da-da-da-da. Remain open with everything. Remember, the one thing I will say to you and to everybody, if anybody tells you that there's one way to do things, there's only one way to get to one certain thing, there's only one God, there's only one path, you will only ascend if you do it this way, crap. Absolute rubbish. The only reason why I'm bringing it up, because you are the true bearer. You are the truth bearer. You're the person that's going to hold space for the real truth that's coming in. It's not that these people aren't spiritual, but there's so much chaos going on right now. There's so many wounds coming up from the 3D, and people have been triggered. And even people who had a really great following, knew what they were doing, and were really solid, have been triggered. I've heard some absolute caca come out of so many different people's mouths right now, and that's just the way it is. It's just everybody's really confused. You've got to give people space to be who they are, and they come back to the light. But you can sense when it's coming from a place of fear or a place of we have to do it this way, and we're rising up and we're fighting this, and there's nothing to fight. There's nothing to fight in the 5D. There's nothing to fight. There's no one way of doing things. Be honest with yourself. Be open with yourself. That's your truth. That's what you're bringing in. And it's not that intrinsically these people don't know what they're doing. They do. And for some people, they will be followed and help other people who have also been triggered. But you're here to work with people who haven't been triggered, who are actually doing the work and remaining open. And it's not easy to do because there's so many things going on right now. But you're here to do the alchemist part of actually finding peace through the chaos and coming back from the chaos here, the chaos that's out there, and not trying to control it by saying this is how we're going to deal with it, by opening into the chaos and alchemizing it into pure peace. And allowing everybody completely to have their own way of doing things. And it's absolutely, totally fine to do that. It's also part of the process. The chaos and everybody going off and being triggered. And it's absolutely part of the process. So please it's important to let everybody do what they're doing. Again, they're coming from a place of goodwill. They really are. but there's just so much right now. It's so much to pull away. That's why it's so important for you, Pal 3. You have the truth. You have your finger on the trigger, which is a really interesting thing to say. And I can't even believe I said that. That's obviously not something I would say, but you absolutely know to the core of what the truth is, to remain open, to stay open, to not be triggered, and when you are, to work through it, to see the whole story, and to come out of the ego. That's another thing that I'm seeing, that people, when they're triggered, they're going into the ego, and that's another thing of saying we have to do it this way. There's only one way of doing it, X, Y, and Z. That's ego talking. I've even heard people saying I'm this, I'm that, and I'm providing proof that they're, quote unquote gurus. And that's fine. If they think they are, that's wonderful. But I always say the people who have the most truth don't tell you, they show you. So you're that person, and the world needs you right now. The world needs the others, whatever they're doing too, but the world needs you in this fashion. So that's what you're doing. So it's really important right now to bring in your wisdom, because it's an untriggered wisdom, and that's what we need. So we've got 6 now coming in. What is needed to create your optimum timeline? And this is your subconscious too. Protection, absolutely. With everything that's going on, your subconscious is making sure that, again, you want to make sure that you feel protected. Work with your first chakra. Make sure that you're grounded. Extra grounding for you, Pal 3. It's really important. Now, with everything that's going on, with all of the people claiming this, that, and the other, and this is happening, and don't do this, and if you're doing this, then you're playing into that, then there's a lot of stuff going on. You're very susceptible, you're very empathic, you're very sensitive, you're picking up on that information, which is totally fair enough. We all are. But it's just a reminder at this point to know that you are protected, and know that your absolute intrinsic truth of the 5D is protected too. So you may feel a little like, with everything that's going on, I feel even more nervous about speaking up. And that's your subconscious. But your subconscious is we're letting you know, your subconscious right now, that you are protected. There's also a reminder that you are here to do this work, and that everybody has their own chart, their own path. And because people are going off and they're saying this, that, and the other, they have, again, every right to. And I'm not saying anything negative about it. Again, I want to say that that's part of their journey. We need them to do that. It doesn't mean that you need to take on that energy. If you find yourself taking on that energy and getting even more confused, turn off everything. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Come back down to you. Ground into what you know the ultimate truth. When you channel, it is from a place of expansiveness. You are there really to shine the light, not to tell people what to do, or not to shame people. I'm seeing a lot of that too. People shaming people for just being themselves. There's no part of the 5D where there's any shaming anybody or calling anybody out. Just let people be who they are and give them the space to be who they are. I'm seeing that a lot, so it's understandable with this energy around you that you might be even more nervous. So your subconscious could be even more nervous about stepping up in your truth. Your subconscious is being reminded that you are absolutely protected. Oh, hi, Lily. See, even Lily knows. She's got a pull on the projection here. Projection, see? Freudian slip. So, you're coming out, your truth is beyond projection. It's beyond fear. You communicate from source. You've also come into this lifetime to do it. You have had many lifetimes where you've been preparing for this. So this is not your first drill. Remind yourself of that. Ground into your energy, ground into your meditation space of what you know, what your guides will tell you, which will always be open, not one way to do it. Completely expansiveness. It will never be about tearing anybody down, or somebody's better than anybody else, or somebody's in line, they're a commander and you're here, or it'll never be anything like that. True source is, this is where we are. We accept everybody. Earth is a free will zone. Let everybody be who they are. Shine your truth and give them space. Absolutely. So you've got the protection. So if there's any little things that come up with your subconscious, remind yourself, ground into your energy, ground into what you know. And if you have to turn off the media right now, Do it. Do it. It's a little bit crazy right now. So just do it. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of other things going on. Again, this is all this energy just making its way, trying to make sense of this energy. It's totally understandable that we're here right now. It doesn't mean that you need to extra confuse yourself with it. Turn it all off. Turn it all off if you feel like you need to. Okay, so number 7. 6, yes, number 7. So your most dreamed of future. So what you dream of for your future. The eagle, spirit, integrity, connection to the angelic realm. I mean, that's absolutely perfect for you. Yes, speaking from source, doing this work, helping others, being a connected sort of light, and also with spirit, with the ego soaring high, always feeling as though you have a path forward, you know what you're doing, you're there to connect, you're there to help, and you're there to really be, again, a sort of, keep going over it, but this is mainly your reading, to be a source of absolute truth in this lifetime. That's exactly what you're here, your most dreamed of future. How you bring, how you communicate, what you do through different medias or conglomeration of many different things, thinking outside of the box. Absolutely great. Working with youth, working in communities. For most of you, or for some of you, because these are general readings, I'm seeing that what you will do is many different things. I think I saw that in pile 2 also, but even if you work sort of on your own as a writer, you'll work collectively with other people. There'll always be other people. You're community oriented. You stand for justice. You are definitely there to create real space without a sense of privilege. You're definitely here to really assess your privilege, to do the work, to not work from it. And that's part of the ego that's going on too. People have been triggered because their sense of privilege has been triggered. You're working beyond this. This is work that you've been doing anyway. You're happy to do it. You're going to do it. So you'll have an objective viewpoint when you speak your truth that others right now, unfortunately, don't all have. But you will continue to have that objective viewpoint from the ego. That's why it's important to stay grounded and to stay in your truth and get your truth and your channeling out there. If you're a channeler, write it down, do your YouTube, whatever you need to do. Remain your lighthouse and don't doubt yourself, because when you align with your true essence and your true power and your confidence, whatever you do will be taken to the next level and reach more people, and that's exactly what is needed. So 8, your number 8 card is, what are the underlying energies around you right now? So this is manifestation. So this is absolutely a beautiful card. If we turn it on outside, we have the infinity here symbol, which really speaks to the eagle rising up, being objective, the manifestation here of doing all of this. You're here to do it. You've been absolutely clicked into this. You absolutely know this is your path, that this is resonating with you. You absolutely know on an intrinsic level that you've got this. You really do. You know that this is why you are here, to dispel the old, to come out of the ego, to talk from the truth, to make it manifest, to talk from the 5D, to bring in real messages and to really stand for the light, and also have that confidence where you can be like, again, that's it. I'm not doing, if you don't resonate with my message, that's great. It's not for you. All the messages that you give out will not be for you. It's for people who are really working through the 3D and moving into 5D. Not all people will move into 5D. Now, not all spiritual people who thought they were in 5D are going to move into 5D. There's been a lot of triggering. There's been, like I said, a lot of the ego stuff has been triggered, a lot of the stuff. Now, at any time, they could work through it and do it. But it's really, it's the calling now. If, it's you're there for the people who are expansive, who are ready to embrace the unknown completely, who don't want to control it, who have an expansive mindset. And these are the people who are holding space for everybody to move into the 5D, and that's specifically why you're here. So the manifestation of what it is that you do is to hold space for those people. That doesn't mean to say that you can't be there for everybody else. That's fine, but you're not here to be liked by everybody. That's another subconscious thing here. When you doubt your worth, don't doubt what you're saying, don't doubt your worth. Do not do that. The right people will find you, and that's why you're here. And we have card number 9. What do you need to release to create this dream of your future? Oh my goodness. So the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Earth, an inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. So this is what you have to do. Release the idea that you cannot do any of this. You absolutely can have an inflow of abundance. It really does come back to the beginning of really honoring your gift and really grounding into the energy, really understanding why you're here. You're not here to save everybody. You're not here to save people, but you are here to wield your truth. And that's what you're here to do. Not everybody is going to be 100% behind you, but that's okay. But the people that are really going to resonate with what you do. So, there might be a part of you that is a little bit worried that, that you won't be able to get, maybe there's a part of you, I don't know if this is just a few of you, but I'm getting for some of you, still wanting to be liked, still wanting to, save people and give the message to everyone that will resonate. But it's okay if not everybody resonates with you. Like I said, everybody has their own path, but it's really important for you to understand that, ultimate abundance, the right people that will work with you, contracts coming in, business venture, absolutely, documents or contracts, any of you who are writers, any of you who are working with manifestation, all of that is coming in. And trust that it will, because you've got the manifestation too. And also I want to remind you, you chose this because you are working in the present moment like you already have it, or even in the past. I have already, I am, you are already this. It's just standing in the glory of who you are. And you know what? I know there's been a little bit of emphasis, and I hope I haven't overdone it, but a little bit of emphasis on the sort of truth that you will be coming out with. But I want you to know, we want you to know that the truth that you'll be coming out with, you'll be reaching a lot of people. You'll be doing a lot of good. This will be huge. It will be absolutely huge. It's not like you standing on a hill preaching to one person that happens to be, your daughter, because they have to be there and you picked them up from school. You're going to have a million different people out there. We're just reminding you that, if you don't resonate with everybody, it's not a reason to doubt yourself. The right people you'll resonate, but you have the right energy of where we're moving to. And that's why you need to speak your truth now to come into it. This is the energy. A lot of what we're seeing now from people talking is a lot of the old energy mixed in with a little bit of thoughts of the 5D, but it still holds the 3D energy. The way in which you communicate your truth is purely from the 5D. So you're absolutely and completely needed, without a shadow of a doubt. So, what you need to release to create, you need to have trust. You need to release any doubt that you have that your truth will be enough, and that you will be accepted, and that you will do whatever you need to do, and that your truth will be enough. It absolutely will. And not only that, but others will recognize it. The inflow of abundance, effortless life, promising business adventure. Here you got the Ace of Pentacles here. You've got it. It means you've arrived, kiddo. You got this. So we've got the fairy dust cards. We're going to end here with one of these fairy dust cards for you, just to give you one final message. Support. There is always help around when you ask. It can be found. See? And also for the fairies, you've got the fairy wisdom. You have your guides working with you in such a great way, such a great support, which you've always felt. But you are a channeler. You are channeling from other realms. So, don't forget. We feel as though for a lot of you, when you channel and when you're in the zone and when you're connected to source, you are absolutely wonderful. There's no doubt you've got this. But then sometimes when you come out of it, or you finish channeling, the doubts come in. Remind yourself to get back and connect to source at all times. There's no reason to ever disconnect. If you need a little extra manifestation, meditation, whatever it is that you need to do, space, again, Getting back into a childlike mentality can always bring in the fairy realm for sure. And also just do more channeling. You can absolutely do that. Ramp up your channeling and do whatever you need to do. Even if it's a YouTube channel, put in your energy there. The more you channel right now, the more grounded you are, the more protected you are, the less doubtful you are, and the more manifestation you're going to bring in because you're aligned. So that's what I have for you. That's what we have for you, Pal 3. I really hope this resonated. You're going to do some amazing work in this lifetime. You've already done amazing work, and this is just the beginning. So I hope this resonated with you. And if it did, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below. I truly love hearing from you guys. And do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that bell icon, because it truly does help the channel and it would be much, much appreciated. Now, don't forget that we have the 3-day free course, Beyond Fear, for all you sensitives out there. It really is an amazing course, and it's free. I made it free on purpose so everybody could go do it. And also the 21 days working with your unicorn, your inner child. But it's also about reclaiming your soul, badass self, skipping timelines, all sorts of things. There's lots of other things going on there. And that's 21 days, change your life. Right now it's at $33 at an amazing introductory rate. Wow. So if you're interested in that, the links will be down below. All right, Pal 3, you're amazing. Absolutely amazing, and you stay safe and sane, and until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye.